You know how it is you're aiming for that effortless English conversation where words just flow and you feel totally in command.
Yeah.
But sometimes it can feel like you're pushing through mental quicksand, right?
hmm
What if the key to unlocking that confidence wasn't some like secret technique, but actually mastering the everyday stuff?
Well, what's truly interesting is that conversational fluency isn't really about knowing every single word.
Right.
It's much more about navigating those everyday interactions smoothly. And that often comes down to how well you handle the foundational exchanges.
Exactly. And that's the deep dive we're taking today. We've got some fantastic insights here looking at how we actually learn to speak a language fluently,
Mhm.
combined with really practical strategies for daily practice. Our focus. 10 simple conversation starters that we all hear all the time.
These 10 questions might seem basic, almost too simple sometimes,
Yeah.
but they're the bedrock of countless conversations. Think about it. You encounter them everywhere, whether you're grabbing a coffee, meeting someone new, or just uh, catching up with a colleague.
So our mission today is to really unpack these 10 questions. We're going to explore why they're so powerful, equip you with the best ways to respond, point out those sneaky little mistakes that can trip you up,
Oh, yeah, those happen.
and give you expert-backed tips on how to practice them until they become totally automatic. Consider this your focused toolkit for conversational confidence.
And it's worth considering, even if you're not actively speaking English all day, just how often you hear these questions.
True.
Recognizing their prevalence is, I think, a powerful first step in appreciating their importance.
Okay, let's jump in with number one. How are you? It feels like such a throwaway line sometimes, doesn't it? But it's absolutely everywhere.
It is indeed a universal opener. Experts often note that "how are you" functions as a kind of social lubricant.
Social lubricant. I like that.
Yeah, it's a polite entry point into almost any interaction, even with complete strangers. It's less about a genuine medical inquiry and more about establishing a connection.
And here's a little cultural nugget. In many English-speaking places, it's more of a friendly ritual than an invitation to your life story.
Right. Exactly.
They're generally not expected to launch into a detailed account of your morning aches and pains.
That's a really key cultural understanding.
Yeah.
While sincerity is valued, the initial "how are you" usually anticipates a brief and generally positive reply. Think of it as the conversational equivalent of a nod or a smile.
So what are some go-to ways to answer? Our resources highlight a few reliable options. I'm fine, thank you. I'm good, thanks. And you,
Mm.
not bad, thanks. And I'm doing well, thank you. You can also sprinkle in mood adjectives like great, happy, okay, or even a truthful but brief, tired, or busy.
And notice the consistent inclusion of "thank you" and the almost automatic return of the question "and you" or "how about you." This back and forth politeness is crucial for smooth interaction. It signals that you're engaged in the social exchange.
Okay, here's a common snag I've seen mentioned. Apparently, people often forget a tiny but important word, the verb.
Oh.
Just saying fine or good on its own can sound a little abrupt, maybe, and isn't grammatically complete. You need that I am or I'm.
Precisely. And while you might hear native speakers occasionally shorten it in very casual settings, especially that "I'm good" instead of the grammatically pure "I am well,"
Right, I hear that all the time.
for learners, building the habit of saying "I am fine" or "I'm good" provides a much stronger foundation. It's just safer.
So a great tip is to always give a full, even if short answer like, I'm good, thanks. And returning the question is so important.
Definitely.
If you're feeling up to it, adding a tiny bit of extra information can really open things up. For example, I'm fine, thank you. Just enjoying the sunshine.
Yeah, that little snippet of detail gives the other person a natural hook for a follow-up,
Right.
turning its simple greeting into the start of a more substantial exchange. However, experts also caution against, oversharing right off the bat, particularly with new acquaintances. Keep it concise and positive initially.
Good point. Okay, let's tackle question number 2. Where are you from? This is another one that seems to come up super early in conversations.
Absolutely. It's a natural way to begin understanding someone's background, their roots, and maybe discover shared experiences or cultural connections based on location.
Uh-huh.
And grammatically, it's fantastic practice for using the verb be, followed by a preposition indicating place.
So what are the key phrases to have in your back pocket for this one? We've got the standard, I'm from country city, right?
Mhm.
Or you can offer more detail with, I was born in place and I live in place now, or even I grew up in. And those prepositions in and from are vital here.
Yeah, pay close attention to the correct Preposition. You originate from a specific place, but you currently reside in a city or country.
Ah, good distinction.
The fundamental structures are,
Yeah.
I am from place and I live in place. Pretty straightforward, but easy to mix up sometimes.
Our sources offer some really helpful examples showing how you can layer in detail, like, I'm from Italy originally, I was born in Rome, but now I live in Milan.
Right.
You can start with the broad strokes and add specifics as your confidence grows.
And just like with how are you,
Mm-hmm.
making sure to ask the question in return, and you, where are you from, is essential for a polite and reciprocal conversation.
Always return the question.
Exactly. You could also briefly mention something you appreciate about your city or country to,
Yeah.
keep the ball rolling.
What about common mistakes? What should people watch out for?
Forgetting the verb is a big one again.
Yeah.
You can't just say, I, India. It needs to be, I'm from India.
Yeah.
Also, the typical word order is, where are you from? It just sounds much more natural than from where are you in everyday speech. And a subtle but important point. When asked, where are you from, the expected response usually refers to your place of origin, using from. Saying, I live in Canada, answers a slightly different question about your current residence.
Yeah.
It's not wrong, just different.
Gotcha. And
Right.
culturally, how does this question usually land?
Well, generally, inquiring about someone's origin is seen as friendly small talk. It's a way to find common ground.
Okay.
However, it's always good to be slightly sensitive, maybe, as in some contexts it might feel a touch personal. But overall, in most English-speaking environments, it's a pretty standard and accepted way to connect.
Right. Just read the room a bit.
Exactly. It's about striking that balance between showing genuine interest and being mindful of personal boundaries.
Okay, let's dive into question number 3. What do you do? Now, this usually translates to, what's your job? Or, what do you do for a living? Right.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's a very, very common question when meeting new people, a polite way to learn about a significant aspect of someone's life, their work or studies. Experts often point out that it gives the other person an opportunity to share something important about their identity and daily routine.
So what are the essential words and phrases to have ready for this one? We've got the classic, I am a job title, like I am a teacher, I am an engineer, or I am a doctor.
Yeah.
You can also say, I work as a profession, for example. I work as a software developer at a tech company. And if you're a student, I'm a student studying subject. Like, I'm a student studying linguistics. And don't forget those work-related verbs like teach, design, manage, or study.
And it's also useful to have phrases ready if you're currently not working, or maybe if you're focusing on your studies. Things like, I'm currently looking for a new opportunity, or I'm a full-time student.
Right.
The structure of your answer should be clear. I am an accountant. I work in marketing, or I study environmental science at university. Keep it simple.
The examples in our resources are really helpful in showing how you can add a little more context, like mentioning your workplace or your specific area of study. Something like, I'm a graphic designer. I design websites for small businesses. Adds a bit more flavor.
Definitely. And when someone asks you, what do you do? Make sure your answer starts clearly with, I am a job. Avoid just stating your job title without the verb.
Okay.
Be prepared for follow-up questions like, oh, where do you work? Or what exactly are you studying? And definitely remember to ask the question back. Show you're equally interested in them.
Right, that reciprocity again. What about common mistakes here?
Leaving out verbs or articles is a frequent one. It's I am a lawyer, not I lawyer.
Yeah.
Also, using the wrong verb tense. We typically use the present simple for your general profession. I work in finance, not I am working in finance, unless you're maybe talking about a temporary situation or project.
Got it.
Prepositions can also be a bit tricky. Remember, it's I work as a job or I work at company institution. Avoid phrases like I work in teacher, and a common error to avoid is that sort of unnatural phrasing like I do doctor. The correct ways are I'm a doctor or I work as a doctor.
Culturally speaking, talking about work is super common in many English-speaking cultures, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's considered a standard part of getting to know someone. People often ask because it's such a significant part of adult life and often tied to identity. So, yeah, don't hesitate to talk about your job or studies. And as our sources emphasize, even if you're between jobs or currently focusing on other things, it's perfectly acceptable to say something like, I'm currently in between roles, or I'm focusing on personal projects right now. Honesty is generally appreciated.
That's good to know. Okay, question number 4. How was your day? Or if it's earlier in the day, how's your day going? This feels like a thoughtful way to show you're interested, in what someone's experiencing.
Exactly. It's a friendly check-in question, often used among people you have some connection with, friends, colleagues, classmates. It's also a fantastic opportunity to practice using past simple and present continuous tenses naturally in conversation.
Ah, that grammar focus is key. So if the day is done, we generally use the past simple, my day was pretty good, thanks.
Yep.
If it's still underway, the present continuous works well. My day is going well so far. And using time markers like this morning, this afternoon, or today adds important context.
Definitely. Essential vocabulary includes simple adjectives to describe your day like good, busy, relaxing, or maybe challenging. You might also mention specific activities using phrases like I went to a meeting or I had lunch with a friend. And of course, remember how to respond when they ask, how about you? Something like, it was a bit hectic for me too, or mine's been fairly quiet so far, are good options.
Our sources provide some helpful examples using different tenses, like, it was great, thank you. I finished a big project at work and then went for a run.
Nice. Past simple there.
Yeah. Or, it's been a bit crazy so far. I've had back-to-back meetings all morning.
Present, perfect, continuous, and past simple working together there. Good examples.
Yeah. So when you're answering, is it good to share a highlight?
Yeah, try to share a brief highlight if you can, something interesting that happened, even if it's small.
Okay.
If your day wasn't the best, keeping it relatively light initially is often a good approach,
Right.
And definitely show empathy if they mention having a tough day. A simple, oh no, sorry to hear that, goes a long way.
What about common mistakes for this one? Tenses again.
Tenses are often the big one here, yeah. Answering, how was your day? With, it is good, isn't quite right. It needs to be in the past tense.
Gotcha.
Also, remember to include the subject, I had a good morning, not just had a good morning.
Yeah.
And be careful with verb forms after did. It's I didn't do much, not I didn't did much.
Right. And culturally, this one seems pretty safe.
Very safe. Asking about someone's day is a very common and friendly gesture. There aren't really any cultural landmines here. Talking about your work, studies, or everyday routines is perfectly acceptable. It's a natural way to practice everyday vocabulary in context.
Okay, good. Let's move on to question 5. What do you like to do in your free time? Or maybe, what are your hobbies? This is a great way to find common ground and keep the conversation positive, I find.
Absolutely. Hobbies are something people generally enjoy talking about. This question encourages a wider range of vocabulary related to different activities and provides a fantastic opportunity to discover shared interests with the person you're talking to. Discussing enjoyable topics can also make speaking feel more comfortable and boost confidence.
So, key vocabulary and phrases here include things like, I like verb plus ing, I enjoy verb plus ing, and my hobby is noun.
Yep.
Think of examples like, I like playing tennis, or my hobby is photography. And those adverbs of frequency are useful too, right? Like often, usually, or sometimes, to describe how often you do these things.
Definitely. The main grammar point here is the present simple tense for habitual actions.
Right.
I go swimming twice a week. I read before bed every night. Pay attention to the ing form of the verb after, like, and enjoy. Well, some people might say, I like to cook. Saying I like cooking is often considered a bit more natural in this context.
Ah, okay. Good tip.
Our sources give some excellent examples like, I enjoy hiking and painting. I often go hiking on weekends. Or, my favorite hobby is playing the piano. I try to practice every day.
Nice. And conversationally, what's the best way to respond when someone shares their hobby?
Oh, definitely ask follow-up questions.
Like what?
Like, oh, you play the piano? How long have you been doing that? Or, you like hiking? What's your favorite trail? If it's a hobby you're not familiar with, ask them to explain it.
Okay.
And naturally, share your own hobbies as well to keep the exchange balanced.
What are the common mistakes here? Verb forms.
Yeah, getting confused about the form of the verb after like and enjoy is common. Also, incorrect use of articles. It's my hobby is gardening, not my hobby is the gardening. Also, pay attention to verb agreement, especially in the third person. He likes playing video games. And with negative statements, it's I don't like watching horror movies, not I don't like watch horror movies.
Got it. Culturally, talking about interests seems pretty standard and friendly.
Totally. It's a friendly and easy way to connect with others. It's generally seen as positive small talk. Don't hesitate to ask for more details if someone mentions a hobby you don't know. It's a great opportunity to learn something new and keep the conversation flowing.
Okay, question number 6 takes us into the recent past. What did you do last weekend? This is like prime territory for practicing the past simple tense.
Exactly. The weekend is a distinct and often activity-filled period, so people usually have something specific to share. This question naturally leads to discussions about leisure activities, time spent with family and friends, or any outings they might have had.
Right. So the main grammar focus here is definitely the past simple tense for talking about completed actions and using past time expressions like last Saturday, on Sunday evening, or yesterday.
Absolutely. Make sure you're confident using regular past tense verbs with that ed ending.
Walked, talked.
Exactly. And also those irregular verb forms went saw, ate, slept, visited. There are quite a few.
Yeah, those need practice.
And remember to use those past time markers to provide clear context.
Our sources provide examples like, last Saturday, I went to a museum with my family. Then we had dinner at a new restaurant. On Sunday, I just relaxed at home and read a book.
That's a nice detailed answer.
Yeah, or even shorter. I went to a concert with some friends last weekend. It was fantastic.
And when you ask this question, how can you keep it going?
Well, encourage the person to give you a bit more detail. Oh, you went to a museum. Which one? Or you saw a concert. Who was playing?
Right. Dig a little deeper. Yeah. You can also relate their experience to your own, maybe. Or even suggest similar activities you might enjoy together in the future.
Common mistakes to avoid here. Tense again.
Tense is usually the big one, yes. Saying, I go to the park, when you mean last weekend instead of I went to the park.
Right.
Also, forgetting to add the ed ending to regular verbs or using the incorrect irregular form. Be careful not to use double negatives like I didn't went. That's a classic.
Yeah.
And just try to stay consistently in the past tense when you're talking about the weekend that has just passed.
Culturally, sharing weekend stuff is usually pretty relaxed.
Oh yeah, very open and casual. It's a comfortable way to practice past tense and connect with others about how they spend their leisure time, which often reveals personal interests.
Okay, moving on to preferences with question number 7. What is your favorite act? Food, movie, book, etc. This is a fantastic way to get to know someone's tastes, isn't it? Usually leads to an easy and engaging exchange.
Yes, it's a really positive topic that helps you expand your vocabulary across all sorts of categories, from food and films to music, literature, colors, you name it.
Yeah.
And because it's about personal opinion, even beginners often feel quite confident answering this one. Less pressure, maybe.
So key vocabulary and phrases include, my favorite noun is X, or maybe, I like noun the best. You can also use descriptive adjectives to explain why you like something, such as delicious, exciting, or thought-provoking. And I really enjoy verb plus ing works well here too.
Yeah, the sentence structure is generally quite simple. You can start with, my favorite is when. For a little variety, you could also say, I find really enjoyable, or I'm a big fan of.
Our sources suggest some great tips for keeping the conversation going here. What's the main one?
Definitely ask why.
Yeah.
After someone shares their favorite,
Yeah.
asking, why do you like that so much, or what do you like about it, can really lead to a more in-depth discussion. Make sure to share your own favorites as well, and if appropriate, you can even offer recommendations.
Okay. Common mistakes to watch out for with favorites.
Using an incomplete question, it needs that verb is, what is your favorite movie? Not just favorite movie.
Right.
Also, be mindful of using articles and plurals correctly. And in your answers, ensure the subject-verb order is right. It's my favorite, not favorite it is. Although that sounds kind of Yoda-like.
Yeah. Avoid Yoda speak. Culturally, talking about favorites seems pretty safe territory.
Oh, definitely. People generally enjoy talking about their favorites. Food and entertainment preferences can even offer insights into cultural backgrounds sometimes. It's generally a very safe and friendly topic for conversation. Just remember to be respectful of different tastes. If someone loves something that you're not so keen on, a simple, oh, I haven't sent you that, maybe I should, is a much better response than like a negative comment.
Good advice. Okay, question number 8 brings in a more personal element. Tell me about your family. This is a common topic that helps practice family-related vocabulary and the verb have.
Yes, family is a significant part of many people's lives, and talking about it can help build a stronger personal connection.
Right.
It provides good practice with names for family members and simple structures like I have number family members.
So key vocabulary here includes all those family terms: mother, father, brother, sister, cousin, grandparents, and so on. And get comfortable with those basic sentence structures. I have one older sister. My parents live in the countryside. I come from a big family.
Sample answers might be something like, I have 2 younger brothers. One is in university and the other is still in high school. Or maybe, I'm an only child, but I have a big extended family with lots of cousins. Simple, clear.
After you've shared a bit about your own family, what's the next step? Ask questions.
Yeah, remember to ask follow-up questions about the other person's family. You could ask things like, do you have any siblings, or what do your parents do? And if you feel comfortable, you could also share a brief, positive memory related to your family. Keep it light, though.
Okay. Common mistakes here. What trips people up?
Incorrect number agreement. I have 3 brothers, not I have 3 brothers.
Right, plurals.
Also, avoid using have to describe someone's profession. My mother's a doctor, not my mother has doctor.
Yeah.
And just be careful with pronoun agreement when you're talking about different family members using he or she correctly.
Culturally, asking about family is generally okay in friendly contexts.
Generally, yes. In friendly or more personal contexts, it's quite common to ask about siblings or parents. However, it's wise to be a little cautious about delving into more sensitive family topics with people you don't know very well. When you're answering, providing some basic information is perfectly normal. If someone seems hesitant or uncomfortable talking about their family, it's always a good idea to gently steer the conversation to a different topic. Just be sensitive.
Good call. Okay, question 9 focuses on our daily routines. What did you have for breakfast, lunch, dinner today? This uses everyday food vocabulary and gives you practice with simple past and present perfect tenses.
Exactly. It's a question about something that everyone experiences daily eating. It's also culturally fascinating because meals and food preferences can vary so widely around the world.
Yeah, that's true. So the grammar focus here is using the present perfect or simple past for meals you've already had today.
Right. I've already had breakfast, or I had cereal for breakfast. For talking about your general eating habits, stick to the present simple. I usually have coffee with breakfast.
Okay. So know your food words.
Definitely. Make sure you're familiar with the names of common foods and meals. Phrases like, I had food for meal are essential. You can also use descriptive adjectives to talk about how the food tasted, like delicious, tasty, or filling.
Sample answers could be, this morning I had scrambled eggs and toast. I also had a cup of tea. Or for lunch, I had a salad with grilled chicken. Pretty straightforward.
And you can follow up by asking simple questions like, oh, did you enjoy it? Or do you often cook your own meals? If you have a favorite dish for a particular meal, you could mention it. Talking about local or traditional dishes can also be a great way to connect culturally.
Common mistakes with food questions. Articles again.
Often articles, yeah. I had an apple, not I had apple. Also, getting the verb tenses mixed up when talking about specific meals versus your general habits is common.
Okay.
And try to keep the verbs relatively straightforward. Had usually works fine.
Culturally, talking about meals is generally okay.
Generally considered a friendly and lighthearted topic. Asking about what someone has eaten can even be a way of showing you care about their well-being. It's usually seen as quite polite and normal.
Great. And finally, we arrive at question number 10. What is the weather like today? This is classic small talk, isn't it? And a great way to practice using adjectives and present tenses.
Absolutely. Weather is a neutral and universally relatable topic that almost everyone can comment on. It's also culturally significant, especially in regions where the weather can be quite unpredictable.
It's like here. So the key grammar is using the present, simple or continuous.
That's right. It is sunny today, or it's raining quite heavily. You can also use the phrase, it feels adjective, like it feels quite cold this morning.
And you need your weather words.
Definitely. Make sure you know your basic weather adjectives, sunny, cloudy, windy, rainy, hot, cold, and familiarize yourself with common weather phrases like, what a beautiful day, or looks like it might rain later.
Sample answers could be, it's a beautiful sunny day today, perfect for a walk in the park, or maybe it's been quite cloudy and a bit chilly. I'm glad I brought a jacket.
And you can extend the conversation by connecting the weather to your plans for the day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's so sunny, I think I'll go for a bike ride later. Or comparing the climate where you are to somewhere else. Or even using the weather to express a shared experience or offer empathy. Like, oh, it's raining there too. What a shame.
Common mistakes with weather talk.
Grammatical mix-ups with words like rain. It is raining, not it is rain. Also, using adjectives correctly, it's windy, not it's windily. And don't forget that it's at the beginning of weather descriptions. It's sunny, not just sunny.
Right. And culturally, weather talk is
Incredibly common in English-speaking cultures, often as a go-to way to start a conversation with just about anyone. It's safe, neutral, and universally understood, a real icebreaker.
So there you have it, 10 seemingly simple daily conversation questions that, when you really master them, can make a huge difference in your fluency and confidence.
Mhm.
And as our expert sources consistently point out, the real magic happens with consistent, focused practice. Even short bursts of daily attention can lead to significant progress.
Exactly. Start small.
Mhm.
Maybe pick one or two questions to really focus on each day. Look for opportunities in your daily life to use them, even if you're just thinking the answers in your head at first.
Yeah.
And remember that making mistakes is a natural and essential part of the learning journey. Don't be afraid of them.
We really encourage you to actively start using these questions in your daily interactions, no matter how brief they might be.
What's truly insightful, I think, is how focusing on these seemingly basic fundamental questions can actually pave the way for much more meaningful and extensive conversations down the line.
How so?
Well, by building a strong command of these everyday exchanges, you're creating a solid foundation, like a platform, for more complex communication later on. You get comfortable with the basics, then you can build.
That makes a lot of sense. So think about it for a moment. Which one of these 10 questions will you consciously practice using today?
Mhm.
Pick one, give it a try, and start building that conversational confidence one question at a time. Happy practicing.